Welcome into a new episode of the Benchwarmers podcast, and the United States of America owns the sport of hockey.
And men and
Men's, women's, both gold medals.
Double
Unbelievable week for the sport of hockey. Everyone was watching. I was up at 7 in the morning. It was incredible.
I was not up at 7 in the morning, but I woke up to some great news that the United States won gold medal. And just a great week continues here at KTBS because we have a very special guest joining us. The flag football coach, the inaugural flag football coach at East Texas Baptist University, Maddie Melton. If that name sounds familiar, it's because she's a national champion at ETBU as a softball player, but now in a new role at the university as the inaugural flag football head coach. Maddie, first off, thank you for joining us. And secondly, how did you get introduced to flag football?
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I'm excited. So I got into flag football a little bit because of the background. The original pathway I thought I wanted to take for myself was working in sports performance. So doing strength and conditioning, I worked in that field for a couple years. I interned and then took on a part-time role doing that at a facility in Tyler, Texas, one of the best facilities in the state of Texas. And so through that, I was introduced to a whole lot of other sports. And so when flag football opened up, I was hesitant at first, but then I realized that I was capable all day long, and I had a lot of people believing in me that I could do this role just from my background in coaching and then my background at working at such a high-end facility, working with incredible athletes. That's what kind of led me to fully pursue this position.
And we thought it was perfect timing to have you on with the Winter Olympics out of the way. We now turn the page to the Summer Olympics in 2 years, and flag football is going to be an Olympic sport. And if we don't win that, we got a whole other list of issues. But what's different about the flag game? Obviously, we're here in the South. We love our tackle football. What are some of the main differences? Maybe some that we wouldn't notice right off the top about flag football.
So the field is a little bit shorter. We're playing the full width, but it's 80 yards, so just about 20 yards shorter than a normal football field. Few of the big differences is there's no contact whatsoever. In the version we're playing, there's partial contact. There's some where you can make a little more contact. We are completely no contact. There can't be any arms in front of your flags, or it's considered flag guarding. So it is a whole lot of offense. There is a whole lot of run game and throwing game going on. And so that is really a big difference compared to flag football. Anybody is eligible to be a receiver. Even the quarterback can go out for a pass, things like that. So that's something unique. That's going to be fun. There's a lot of different plays we can do with that, but those are a few of the big differences, I think.
And the skill set's different, obviously, with there being no contact, and the way you avoid getting your flag taken. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so a lot of it is 95% in your hips, the way that you can move your hips, adjust, things like that. We've been having open field the past 3 weeks so far for just local girls and students on campus who might be interested in pursuing flag, and that is the first thing that we hit on every single week is working on moving your hips, avoiding the flag pull. We've done a lot of hip mobility because, like I said, my background is in sports performance, and so I do and I've learned a lot of unique things that are going to help girls not only stand out on the field but keep them on the field longer from injuries and just staying healthy and things like that. So we do a lot of hip mobility, but we do a lot of training and just moving our hips, reading the offense the way that they're coming, because one slight step backwards or one slight dip in your hips could be the difference in scoring a touchdown or getting your flag pulled. And so a whole lot of it, 95%, is in your hips.
So you were an elite softball player. Did you have much time to play flag football growing up in, Hallsville, Texas, and throughout your time there in Marshall at ETBU?
Not a whole lot, I would say. I was always the kid who was out in the yard playing with the neighborhood kids, or I was with the boys on the playground, or when we had outside time at school, joining in on all the football games. Because flag football really isn't a thing down here in East Texas. It's not big, and so it was always like street ball or yard ball or what we played when we had time at school. But in my time I was always the girl that was out with the boys trying to show them up. I'm very competitive, and so any opportunity I had to either outrun a guy or intercept one of their balls, I was going to take them up on it.
So how exciting is this opportunity for you? The move was announced in October of last year. I'm sure before that the timeline starts rolling of like, hey, would you be interested before the gigantic press release is announced? When did you first hear about it, and how exciting is it for you to be in this role?
Yeah, so I knew that it was announced we were getting it when I was in softball season, so quite a few months before October, but really whenever I decided to pursue the job and sit down with our athletic director to even talk about the possibilities, it was only about a week-long process, if that, before it was announced. So it was really quick turnaround, and because I was so excited, I knew the second that I sat down and talked with them about it that this is where the Lord wants me right now. He called me to this position very specifically. He made it very obvious, and I was just so confident that this is the route that I wanted to take. And so the turnaround from when I said yes to the press release was less than a week. And then about 3 days after, I was already recruiting and sending emails and reaching out to players, watching film. So it was a very quick turnaround, a very quick just process to get started.
Well, this is very exciting. We can't wait to see you guys. But for you, you mentioned you didn't get a lot of chance to play flag football, but if you were going to play, what would be your position? And could we see a coach-player type situation here?
I think if I was to play, I think that I would probably be a safety. That just the excitement of being the last one to potentially stop whoever's on offense coming at me is really exciting to me. I'm really quick. That's something you look at me and you probably wouldn't see. And so I think that that's something that I would be very successful at, the aggressiveness and the speed and the agility from my background, just training my whole life for moments like this. I think that, yes, I 100%, you could see a coach player type thing. I've considered joining a league in Tyler that just started just for fun, to stay in shape and really just to be around the game a little bit more. So you may see me out there and you may see me jump on the field with the girls every now and then. So far when we've had open field, pretty much we've had an odd number every time. And so I jump in and fill the spot. And there's some times where I will say I've outrun a few of the girls or I've pulled the flags. And that's what I told him from the beginning is I'm young. I love to compete. And so a lot of our team bonding and events that we do together just to form bonds is going to be competitions. Number one, like I said, I'm young. And so if I have the opportunity to beat y'all, I'm going to take it. But also I think healthy competition really forms bonds and has the opportunity to bring you together and bring you closer. And so anything like that is something that we are going to be doing as a team. And so you probably will see me out there with them a lot.
So we're recording this on a Monday. This airs on a Wednesday. We were talking prior about how you had a recruiting visit today. What is your pitch to prospective student athletes coming to Marshall, Texas to join this fresh program at ETBU?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just the campus in general. Once you step foot on campus, there's really not a whole lot that you have to try and sell just because campus is beautiful, but it also is very unique in the type of people we have here in the culture. And so once they step foot themselves and see what we have to offer here, there's really not a whole lot of selling that I have to do. But something I always tell the girls that's very unique is we are playing for a conference championship year one. There's a lot of schools who aren't, either because they're still at the club level or because they don't have a full conference sponsoring it. But something unique about us is our full conference has it, and we are going to be one of the few across the whole nation that is playing for something besides just a temporary win in the moment. So we're playing for rings and diamonds on our finger at the end of the season. We're not just playing to play. And so that's something that excites a lot of the girls, knowing that they're not just out here for a temporary win, temporary excitement, but we're playing for something so much bigger when season's over at the end.
Well, that's exciting. That's a reason to get fired up right there. And we talk about, obviously establishing a new sport, and there's plenty of challenges that come with that. But there's got to be just so much excitement to go into uncharted waters, especially when you consider the climate of women's athletics. I mean, the popularity has grown leaps and bounds. I mean, you look at what's happening in women's basketball and the Olympics that just passed, women's hockey. I mean, that was one of the most watched hockey games in years in both men and women. What do you think the potential is for something like flag football in this country and really here in the South?
Yeah, I really think it's endless. I can't even begin to imagine how big that it's going to get. I mean, it was announced in the Olympics before all of these colleges even started sponsoring it. And so with it getting that big, it's only a matter of time until we have, SEC, Big 10, Big 12 sponsoring all of these. And so I do think that it is growing. It is going to be huge. I could see, a women's professional league come very soon just because it is a very popular sport. I've spoken to so many girls who got burnt out on their old sports and so tried flag for fun and fell in love. And it's a very unique sport in the way that anybody has the opportunity to be successful in it. It's not necessarily a game of failure. Softball is a game where you're successful 3 out of 10 times, and that's considered really good. And so when flag, there's a lot of opportunities to be successful, and it's a little bit different than most sports that you face. And so I really think the possibilities are endless. I think it's only a matter of time for East Texas before we get something a whole lot bigger. We are a little bit behind in the game right now, but I've partnered with a company that is trying to start leagues in the area. We're trying to get into as many East Texas schools as we can and just inform them about the game of flag and how much it's growing and how big it is about to be. And so the hope is that in East Texas, we're going to start growing very soon, but across the nation, there's really no telling how big this thing is about to get. And it's exciting to be at the ground floor of it.
Yeah, I would imagine that you would want to have a feeder system, if you will, of it being competed not just at a club level in a high school, but actual teams with schools and districts going after it. But as you are recruiting these young athletes and maybe some transfers, some college athletes as well, but specifically in high school, what are you looking for in terms of athletes that may not be playing flag football right now, but are playing other sports? How are you trying to find that talent that's out there?
Yeah, so that's actually a lot of what I look for and talk to about recruits whenever they ask me like what I'm looking for. I think my approach is different than a lot of coaches, and again, that is because of my background. I kind of have an eye for just athleticism and athletes. I don't necessarily look at how good they are in a certain position, but I look at how they read the field, how they change direction whenever someone's coming at them, the way that they adjust, just because those things are things that take time to develop, like agility and the way that your body is coordinated and just getting comfortable with that. If I see an athlete who excels in that level, I'm confident in my ability enough as a coach to develop them into the type of flag football player that we need. And so for me, I'm looking for athleticism. I'm looking for kids who have good agility. They can control their body well because, like I said, we can develop them into the type of football player that we need. But above that is personality. I'm really big on the type of people that I'm bringing into my program. With us being a first-year program, it's going to be really important that we build a strong culture from the beginning. And so to me, bringing in girls who may be incredible athletes, but are going to be someone who is not a culture builder-upper, but they kind of tear us down and they're here for their own wants and their own needs is something that may be kind of a red flag and maybe something that hurts us a little bit in year one. So personality is big to me. Selflessness is huge. I'm looking for girls who are willing to put their wants and what they think they should be doing over the needs of the team because with us being young, being a new team, we never know what could be thrown our way. And so personality is huge to me, the type of people that I'm bringing in. And then again, how you move on the field, whether it's a court or the softball field, anything like that. It doesn't matter if it's flag football, an athlete is an athlete. And I know that we can develop you into the type of position player we need on the flag football field.
All right, so grade us. Could we hang? I'm going to say probably not, but could we hang on the field with the ladies? I don't feel good about it.
I'm going to withdraw my name already. I already know I don't have a shot.
It's kind of crazy seeing what some of these girls can do, moving in ways that you would have never even thought possible. Like if I were to try it, I think that my knees and my hips would be aching for days, and I'm only 23. But seeing just some of the athleticism that these athletes have is incredible. Flag football truly brings out the best in every single player, whether it's male or female. And it's really exciting just to see what some of these athletes are capable of and what they can do.
So we have about 4 minutes left. Going to ask one more kind of sports related and have some kind of fun questions at the end. Okay. How involved are you still within ETBU softball, a national champion, as we mentioned, and your impact on that program is everlasting. How often are you in that building with Coach Shirley and just offering tips, advice, helping in any way that you can?
Every single day. I'm actually the assistant softball coach through this spring. And so I'm doing full-time flag football recruiting, but also doing softball. And so there's not a whole lot of sleeping right now. There's a lot of energy drinks, but most of my mornings is straight flag football. And then whenever 2:30, 3 o'clock hits, I'm on the softball field until about 6 o'clock. And then after that, I go home and finish up with anywhere from 2 to 6 phone calls with flag football recruits as soon as softball practice ends. So I'm in the clubhouse every single day. That's actually my office right now. So I'm around softball all the time. We have a lot of away games coming up where we'll be traveling, and my goal is to be on the field during games. But when we have, an hour, 2 hours off, I'm finding flag football somewhere. So softball all the time.
So I guess that takes me to our fun questions. It sounds like you don't have a lot of spare time,
right.
But when you do have a little bit of time to take away, what's something that you're watching to maybe relax and take the stress off a little bit?
Baseball. I am a huge college baseball fan, and so opening weekend was last weekend, and so that's kind of like my comfort to watch. I know it sounds a little bit crazy. Most people think baseball is the most boring thing ever, but I'm so excited to be able just to lay on the couch, have my computer open, and just put on really any baseball game and watch. But besides that, I love crime shows. Not true crime, but like fake crime.
Okay.
That's really my comfort show as well.
So like a Law and Order type.
Yeah. You said
Law
the
and
perfect...
Order. Yeah, Blue Bloods, NCIS. I love all of them.
You said the perfect word, college baseball. I'm with you on that. College baseball is so exciting to watch. Okay, so when we have a lot of coaches in here, there's usually a significant age gap between the coach and the player. Not as much here.
Yeah.
We got about 2 minutes left. You're in the locker room with the girls. Coach has got the aux cord. What are we playing?
Oh, I don't know. They'd hate my music, but I'm a big country girl. I'm old country, 80s, 90s, 2000s country. Every once in a while I can do some like 2010s R&B, but I'm like 97% country. So they're going to hate my music.
So really no change from every other coach that we've had on.
Right. A lot of,
right in line right there.
A lot of country being played in the Arklatex. 90 seconds here. Your one cheat meal, no guilt, no calorie counting, none of that. I know you're an athlete, but if you have a meal that you can eat, no consequences, what are you choosing?
Probably a giant bowl of spaghetti and meatballs.
Yes.
That is a solid option. I actually had some spaghetti and meatballs last night, so Maddie, right there with you.
Love it. We're just on the same page. Quickly, can you give us all the information about when you guys start the season and all that good stuff?
Yes. So we'll start next spring. Practices will start sometime in February, and then season will kick off between March and April. Before then, we're playing preseason, and then conference championship will be late April, early May.
Maddie, this has been fun.
Yeah.
We will be out there for a practice or two and eventually some games. This is something very exciting for the Arklatex and everyone outside of the Arklatex, because I'm sure you want to have a national footprint as well for ETBU flag football coming to the Arklatex. Maddie Melton leading it for the Tigers into the future, into 2027 and beyond. Thank you for joining us on the Benchwarmers, Maddie.
Thank you for having me.
Alex, that was awesome. Another edition of the Benchwarmers. USA #1?
USA #1. I was just smiling all day because it was incredible. Like I said, the 7 in the morning wake up, unbelievable. Go USA. We own hockey. Flag football's next.
That's double #1 for men and women.